Hey, Bruce Naylor here, aka Frugal Tech, and I create videos 2 to 3 times a week. And if you become a subscriber, you'll be one of the first to know when I post a new video. So hit that subscribe button, it means a lot. It turns out that these Q&A videos that I've been making have been very, very popular on the channel, so I thought I'd post another one today. So let's get right to it. The first question comes from Thomas Rowland, who says, love the video. It gave me a better understanding of CRM and what I need to do for my own service business. However, the one thing I did not see or hear are your recommendations for a software solution, either web-based or licensed. What would you recommend for a small service biz? Again, thanks for the lesson. So he's writing about the class I did on CRM. And you're right, I did not mention a particular software package as there's just so many of them out there. So what I'm going to do is kind of give you some just general advice. And the first thing is, I believe, especially for a small business, you're much better off having a hosted CRM solution as opposed to an on-premise version. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but you won't need the server infrastructure. You won't need to cope with things like the backup and maintenance of the software. That'll be all done for you by somebody else. It also makes deploying that CRM solution a lot simpler to people that might be remote or out in the field. Anywhere they have internet access, they can get to the data. So that's a big one. The second piece of advice is to invest in an adequate system to begin with. Don't be, being real cheap in the beginning, if you know what I mean. In other words, anticipate growth, and maybe there's features you won't use today, but you might use somewhere down the road. So that's important. As far as the service end of it, most CRM packages today include some type of help desk or support module to them. You'll need to customize those for your service business, whatever that is. And it's certainly worthwhile to hire a consultant who's familiar with that CRM system to get it all set up for you. See, the last thing you want to do is get into the wrong package or one that don't have the features you might need down the road, because then you'll have to migrate to another system, and that can be a lot more work. So it's cheaper really in the long run and more effective to get exactly what you need in the beginning. So look at a hosted solution, and there's several that come to mind that's very, very good. If you're in a Microsoft ecosystem, it certainly is worth looking at Dynamics CRM. You might look at Salesforce. You may look at Sugar CRM. I personally happen to use Zoho CRM right now. So take a look at some of those packages. Most of them have a free trial, and you can take it from there. But make sure, even if it looks a little overwhelming, there might be features you go, why should I pay for this stuff? I'm never going to use it. Because maybe someday you'll grow into it. And make sure you work with a consultant, get it customized to your needs. That's the best answer I can give you. They normally all have free trials, and just play with them. Sign up for an account and try it out and see if it's for you. Okay, the next question comes from James Myers, who says, I did research, and Windows 10 is practically spyware. It can access practically everything on your computer. And I think this process, for lack of better words, is raping our privacy. What's your take on this? And is my information I researched true? And in fact, Windows 10 is spyware? Or is this misleading information I read? Thanks again. Okay, so technically any software that transmits data, your data, to a third party is technically spyware, and that is transmits it without your knowledge or consent. Of course, when you install Windows, you go through the whole EULA thing, and basically you're agreeing to all the defaults, and then it starts collecting data and so forth on you. So technically, Windows 10 is an operating system with spyware-like behavior. That's the way I see it, and that, whether you want to argue on that technicality or not. Now, the reasoning for it, of course, is Microsoft is saying we want to make Windows 10 a better experience. All the services you're going to use, like Bing, Cortana, OneDrive, all the various Microsoft services, looks at this data and then attempts to make a better experience for you with this data. That's why we're using it, and also to potentially target some advertising that would be more suited to you. Now, there's already videos on the web right now about how to disable most of these privacy encroaching features on Windows 10, and by all means, feel free to do so. However, you may risk giving up some of the benefits of Windows 10 as well. So keep that in mind. You know, as far as, to me, spyware, of course, always has a very negative connotation. You know, people trying to put a keylogger on your system, trying to steal your account numbers from the bank, etc. In Microsoft's case, though, I'm giving them basically the benefit of the doubt, saying, you know, look, they're not highly interested in the email I sent to grandma or what have you. But I get it. I understand that Microsoft owes it to us, the end users, to be transparent and to make it simpler to retain all the privacy we had before Windows 10. That's my opinion. Is it spyware? You know, technically, yes, it is. There's no getting around it. The intention for Microsoft, I think, is positive. I think the way they went about it was a bit sneaky and maybe even a bit underhanded. And I don't like that. I don't appreciate that one bit. Is it enough for me to go running into the arms of a Mac full-time or to Linux? No, it is not. But that's a personal decision each and every one of us has to make. Okay, the next question comes from Gazoo29, who writes, people sometimes feel that their time is worth more than it should be. Taking a business lawyer, for example, that charges $550 an hour. You're telling me after 10 or 15 years of practicing law, you can't have a set price for incorporating a business? Why would you want to lose a customer? You can't charge $550 for everything. Okay. Gazoo, I totally get where you're coming from. Now, he's talking about the video did about how to set your pricing for an IT practice. And this is what I've got to say. This particular scenario, let's set it aside for a second. When you go to a professional, an IT professional, a doctor, a lawyer, accountant, a plumber, whatever, you're not paying that person for their time. What you are doing is you're hiring them to solve a problem. And they've learned skills over a lifetime to solve that problem. Now, the only way they've got to actually make money is to charge you so much per hour, billable hours for that service. But you're really paying for their experience, what's taken them maybe a lifetime to master. And that is a way that I think a healthy way that you look at it. And that's why just the opposite problem happens more than this, which is people selling themselves short. And they undercharge and underbill for their services. They've got a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge, but they're afraid to charge what they're worth. And that was one of the points I was trying to make in my video. I can't speak for this particular case. There's trial lawyers and so forth that bill even more than that. But, you know, it's one of those things, if you want the best, it's going to cost money. And I think when we're all looking for professional services, we want to get the best advice, the best assistance we can for our money. And we don't always necessarily shop for the cheapest, but the people can solve our problem as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And to do that, you have to work with really knowledgeable people. And they do charge, they have to make a living. And a lot of times they don't work 40 billable hours a week. Maybe they're working 20 billable hours. Irregardless, you're paying for the experience that they have. And then the other are people who overcharge for what they do and get away with it. It's up to you. Let the buyer beware. And that is my take on that question. Now, here's the exciting news I have to share. Being a small YouTube channel, it's real tough to get review units. In fact, it's almost impossible. I know I've already reached out to a lot of companies, but Acer agreed to start shipping review units to Frugal Tech channel. As a matter of fact, I've got a brand new Chromebook 15.6 inch from Acer that I'll be reviewing shortly. And that's very exciting news that the channel is finally starting to pick up enough steam and recognition. And Lenovo, or not Lenovo, but Acer thought I did such a great job with the review of the Acer Aspire Switch 10 that they trust me to do some reviews of their products. So I wanted to share that with you. I'm really excited. It's been a tough road. I can't afford to go out and buy all the technology out there and review it. As you know, I'm a smaller tech channel, but we're growing and we've got a great community. So thank you very much for being part of it. Bruce Naylor, the Frugal Tech. Have a great day.